Scott Jones.
And I'm Cal Hicklin, and we're the innkeepers and proprietors of the Lamberts Cove Inn and Restaurant.
The preparation for weddings at Lamberts Cove Inn begins here on the east lawn, where we erect the tents. The day before, normally, the tent vendors will get here. They'll put up multiple tents depending on the size of the wedding. The tents normally take 4 to 6 hours to erect and completely take over the east lawn. As the tent arrives, the bride and the groom will potentially see that there's actually going to be a wedding here. Until they see the tent up, it's all basically on what we've told them the place is going to look like. So once the tent is up, then all of a sudden things start happening and things start appearing everywhere and things start taking shape. And therefore the bride and groom actually believe that there's going to be a wedding held here. The other vendors start delivering tables and linens and glassware and china and all the things that go with the tent. The next morning, as the day of the wedding, the florist will arrive and the band members will arrive and start setting up their equipment. The photographer will get here and start shooting a bunch of shots. So there's lots of hustle and bustle going on here, anywhere from 7 a.m. until wedding time. In most cases, wedding time is anywhere from 2 to 3 in the afternoon. So there are people setting up. The waitstaff gets here around 11 and they'll begin setting up all the tables. And so magically, all of a sudden from a blank lawn will appear a tent and beautiful linens and table settings and a magical event. The staff work really hard here to make sure that the wedding is beautiful for the bride and groom. We only get one shot to do that, so we have to make sure that it's perfect.
The wedding that we're setting up for today, they have several champagne bars. They're going to have a smoothie truck come. It seems like there's always a specialty drink that people have. And they also have different types of food, like Haitian patties or deep fried ravioli or a couple of raw bars. So every wedding is truly unique, and I think that's what makes it memorable for the guest and memorable for us as well. Obviously, the catering has a big part, a big thing to do with having weddings here, and our executive chef has such a great reputation, and it's amazing that he can prepare meals, for up to 300 people, and it really and truly tastes like it does in the restaurant. And I think that's a talent, and a lot of people know that, and through his reputation and the reputation of the inn, that's how we're able to get the weddings that we do.
Can be fun. It's fun when you're actually, the fun part really is actually when you're plating the meal and if everything is going according to plan. That's when it's fun. So the whole process of building to it is more of an organizational, and you have to be really more focused, knowing what's going on and knowing what your other 2 or 3 cooks are doing.
A lot of the crew that's here today hadn't done weddings for us. We always bring in additional staff, but it's amazing how everybody has that they just know how to do it.
In most cases, the timing of the wedding is preset by the bride and the groom and their families based on the times that they'd like to, the time that they would allot for dinner, the time that they would allot for toast, the time that they would allot for dancing, and farewells. And so in many cases, we know before we get into it exactly what time we'll sit down for dinner, exactly what time we'll start toast in between different courses, and what time the band will start and they'll prepare for dancing. Well, we've made it so far today. The bride and the entire wedding party is due back here in about 20 minutes. From that point, they'll be escorted through the bridal garden to harp music, drinking Curaels and smoothies. They'll make their way to the cocktail area, which is around the pool. They'll spend an hour and a half there to a jazz band. From that point on, they'll move into the dinner tent where they'll have toast and blessings, and then they'll begin dinner and dancing till 9:30. Everybody gets nervous because they know how important, and Kel and I are really, details are important to us, and so we try to impress it upon all of them. And so they kind of get nervous, so they don't want to let us down or let anybody else down at the same time. So everybody gets a little nervous to make sure they're trying to do things as best they can. And that's why we love them. They're a great staff. And so, yeah, they are a little nervous and anxious. But then once everybody starts relaxing and partying, I think they probably get excited once the band starts cranking up. And then, you just can't not be excited about the music and everybody having a good time. The first bus is always the most stressful. It's the first time people are seeing the inn. It's the first time the bride and the groom are seeing it complete. Everyone's walking into ooh and ah, and so everything needs to be perfect. So once the first bus gets here and then the second bus rolls in, then people relax a little bit more, then a little bit more. And then before you know it, everybody's dancing and partying and having a good time. Here's another one under our belt.
Congratulations.